All right. Hello, everybody. I am Ross from Church Windows Support. Um, today, today's webinar is um, essentially how to enter and pay a bill, um, and then print that payment. Basically, taking you from beginning to end of how to deal with bills within church windows. Um, the version I am of Church Windows I am running is 18.15.4. Um, that's the same. That's the most up to date version. Um, Accounting, and as long as you have accounting up, though, for the most part, most of the things you will see are um, going to be the same. So let's get started. So the first part of paying a bill is you have to enter it. Um, so if I go in and you open up accounting and click on enter bills, it defaults to today's date for date occurred. So if you need to change it, you can just click on the drop down here and select the date, or you can type it in. If you use invoice numbers or due dates, you can enter them here as well. If you don't use them, you don't even need those fields activated. To the left of those, they have these little switches. If you click on them, it deactivates them, and it's the same for transaction comments on the right here. So the first step for um, entering a bill is you select your vendor or payee. Um, so let me just do that. Um, and you can either select it from the drop down and scrolling through to find the one you want, or you can type in the vendor. So let me just type in big city utilities, and for transaction comments, I'll put you know, utility bill, and then you choose the expense account, or usually you choose the expense account that you want to um, enter the bill towards. So you can scroll down and find it, or you can type it in. So let's just do gas. Alright, so I scrolled through that time, or you can type in the account name or number. And then once you have the bill information entered, you click Done Add to Batch, and it adds it to the bottom here. And then you can go in and enter in your next bill. So we'll do Office Max. And then if you don't have any transaction comments, like you don't need them, you can just ignore that field, and then you can either hit the tab key, that'll take you to the expense/income accounts field, or you can click on it. Let's do office expenses, do 50, and then you can, if you have other comments here, you can add them, and then you can either click the Done Add to Batch button here at the bottom, or you on your keyboard you can hit the Control and then plus to add it. And then once you have all your bills entered, you have a couple different options. If you don't want to actually post the bills and enter them into the system, you can just click this Save Batch button down here at the bottom and then close out. And then you can come in at another day and enter them, and then post them. So if like the next time you open up the enter bills, you'll see the bills that you had entered there at the bottom. And then when you're finally ready to post, you have two options. You have post and then post and pay these bills. So the difference between the two is, both of them, it will post your bills. But if you click the post and pay, um, what that'll do is after all the bills have been posted, it'll bring up the pay bills screen, whereas post will just post them and then not do anything else after that. So let's show you how that post and pay. So you click post and pay, tell you, transactions totaling that amount, and then it's going to ask you if you want to print. So if you want to print, those transactions, you click yes, and then you can adjust the report how you want. It's up to you if you want to print this or not, but show you the detailed information about the bills you posted. So after you do that and close out of it, and close out of bill transactions, the pay bills screen will then open with the bills that you had created already opened up down here at the bottom with the information all filled out. And then when you're paying the bills, you have to choose what asset account it comes out of. If you have a default asset account set up, it'll already be selected. Otherwise, you'll have to select it from the drop down or type it in. In this case, we'll just leave it at Huntington Bank checking. The default date occurred again will just be today's date, and then and the examples I'm showing you, since we're also going to be printing the checks, the pay method will be computer check, because that's what needs to be selected if you want to print the checks from church windows. And so if you do that post and pay, those bills will appear on the screen here. But if you have other bills that need to be paid that were entered in other days or entered in earlier today, and you didn't do that post and pay, you have a couple different ways of pulling up those particular bills. You can either find it in the list up here in the top left where it says select the vendor pay to pay. It will show you the balance of the different vendors. So if you say, American Electric Power, you need to pay that balance off, you can select it and then click Add to Batch. And if it has an outstanding bill, it'll bring it up here. You want to, when you're paying bills, essentially the most important thing you need to do is make sure this Pay Now is selected. That is what will link the payment to the bill, because you can pay towards vendors without applying it to a particular bill. But if you do have a bill entered, you want to make sure you have that Pay Now selected. A couple other ways you can add bill or pay bills is if you click on this Quick Pay, and this is what I generally recommend. It's usually a little bit cleaner, and easier to get to than doing the select vendor to pay in the top left. So when you click on Quick Pay, you have a few different options. Pay bills entered today. If you click on that, it'll bring up all the bills that were entered in today, which they're already in the grid. So the big city utilities and Office Max are showing up still like they should. The other common option is view outstanding bills. So if you had bills that were entered in a couple weeks ago that you now need to pay, you click on that, and then this will bring up all the bills that have not been marked as paid yet in your system. So let's just select, say, Columbia Glass and American Electric Power, and that I already had the American Electric Power popped up, so it doesn't duplicate it, it just kind of leaves it there. So Columbia Gas is now selected, and the Pay Now is checked. If you need to, for individual bills, if you need to change the asset account, you can just go to that line item itself, and you can click on the drop down and select a different asset account. And over here on the right, the checker reference number won't be filled in because that you have to wait until we go into the actual print checks section of the program, and then it will assign the check numbers there. Transaction comments you can enter in, et cetera, et cetera. Just put in some random stuff. But if you want to say, just to kind of help keep things connected and for more information, on the far right here, the insert, INS, it stands for insert, you have the option to add the bill comments to the payment comments. So if you click on that button over here on the right, none of the bills to pay now have any comments. So that just means I just wanted to. So the bills that are created didn't have any line item bill comments. So I guess I can't show you that. So once you have all your bills that you want to pay entered, and you make sure you have Pay Now selected for everything. Again, similar to not similar to, but basically the same as the enter bills, you have the save batch, post, and print checks options. So if you want to pay them in a day or two, you can click that save batch. Save batch is saved successfully. You can close out, do other things, and then come back. And then that information is there. And if you click post, it will post the bills, but not open up that print checks screen. But in this case, we are going to open up the print checks. So I want to do post and print checks. It'll enter in all your bills. You have the print option if you want to just kind of get a report of the payments that were made. So it shows you the debit and credit amounts, any comments, and the payment method and date occurred and all that. So after you close out of payment transactions, the print checks screen will open up. The check date and everything, you want to make sure you have that right. The check layout, we have two built into the system: stub check stub and check stub. And you can edit and create your own. If you need different information on there, you can open up that check designer. We won't show that today. If you have questions about that, you can give us a call. And then here, where it says assets with checks to print, if you have payments from multiple asset accounts that you need to print, you print those separately. So let's just go to, say, the petty cash account. So we have the print. We have the check here that, yes, we want to print that check. It has the payee address and all that. Starting check number, you'll know what you want to enter in for that. So I just put in a random amount. If you want to add a memo to that, you can do that there just by typing it in. And then you click the print button. And then this will bring up the print preview that you can then make sure your checks are entered or are in the printer. And then from here, you go up and click print, and you tell it to print, let it print, and then you'll get, and then once you close out, it's going to ask you, did the checks print correctly? You go and look at go pull the checks from the printer first to make sure they did. If they did, you click yes, and if they didn't, if something happened, you click no, and then that'll bring up this screen, or it's going to basically where you can indicate what checks didn't click correctly. So we're just going to say this check to Columbia Gas did not print correctly. So we make sure that is not checked, and then click OK. And then what that does is that does not remove it from this screen, allowing us to print it again, essentially. And then we put in a new number, tell it to print, go up top left, print again. We close out of the print preview. If we say it, and this time say it did print correctly, we say yes, and then it is removed from the print checks screen. And there you have it. If you don't want to print your checks yet, you can close out. The next time you open up that print check screen, those checks that you still need to print will be there. And again, they will only show up on this screen if you use the payment method of computer checks. If you wrote your own checks, or you have different ways of sending out the money, use that. You can use that, but they won't show up on this screen. And really, that is all there is to it. Does anybody have any questions about the bill entering and paying process in Church Windows? All right. I don't see any questions coming in. If you want to review this video, it will, within the next, I believe it should be actually by the end of today, it will be edited and sent up and uploaded to our YouTube webpage. Where we post all of our webinar videos. You can find that just by going to youtube.com/churchwindows, and then you can see all the videos that we have recorded over the past few years, spanning a number of topics. I believe we have something like 28 different videos in accounting, and similar amounts in the other modules. Yeah, it looks like we don't have any questions coming in. If you do end up having any concerns or anything like that that you need any help with, you can email us at support@churchwindows.com, or you can call us at 1-800-533-5227. Either of those will put you in contact with a technician, and we will be glad to help you out. Everybody, have a good day. Thanks. Bye.